And the Greater Accra Regional Security Council is deploying security personnel on the streets of Accra to enforce the mandatory wearing of the face mask. Greater Accra Regional Minister Ishmael Ashiti says law enforcers have further been directed to begin prosecution of offenders. President Akufo-Addo, in an executive instrument, EI 64, spells out the punishment regime for offenders, which includes liable on summary conviction for a prison sentence of not less than 4 years and not more than 10 years, or a fine of 12,000 cedis to 60,000 cedis, or both. Mr. Ashiti tells my colleague Elton Brobe excuses will not be tolerated.
There was a directive that was given that people should now be prosecuted for defying the protocol of wearing the nose mask. So anybody who is seen, if the police sees you, they will take you up and then you'll be sent to court and you'll be prosecuted.
Elsewhere, people are insisting that going to shops, supermarkets and other places, without it, you will not be allowed.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case. So if you don't have it, nobody should allow you to enter any public place.
Beyond it and the fact that Greater Accra appears one of the epic centers, what more is REGSEC doing to ensure that people comply with the directives?
Yes, we are working closely with the police and the military together to make sure that people who are disobeying these basic rules are dealt with. Education also should be part of, and you, the people from the media, can help by educating our members, especially along the coast. When you go to Ododo areas, talk to them so that they comply with these things.
The Greater Accra Minister spoke to Joynews on the sidelines of a presentation ceremony by the COVID-19 Trust Fund. Some selected health facilities in the Greater and the Volta region received personal protective equipment worth 10 million cedis from the fund. Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Sophia Kufu, wants speedy distribution to the facilities identified.
In spite of efforts of the government and other benevolent institutions to adequately equip and protect the dedicated frontline workers in the combat against the pandemic, the Board of Trustees have monitored media reports and seen complaints from numerous health professionals concerning the lack of or inadequate supply of PPEs and other logistics needed for the combat of the disease effectively. This distribution we're doing today is therefore meant to help fill, for the time being, the gap or shortfall in the supply of PPEs and other medical items to frontline workers for the fight, for the noble fight that they are fighting against the coronavirus pandemic. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, having made these distributions, I hereby call on the management of these beneficiary institutions to apply the donated items for the purposes for which they are intended. In particular, the items should not be allowed to languish in storage for inordinate lengths of time because of onerous and cumbersome bureaucratic procedures before they are released to the targeted users and staff who need them so desperately.